Greetings everyone. Cannot speak. Greetings everyone, and Great here. Please give a moment to make sure everything's set on up. Looks like everything's up and going. And my macros. There we go. Activate the chat windows. And looks like everything's good there. Give me another moment to check my other computer. And looks like everything's good there as well. So let's go get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn on the bottom right side as Yellow Comet Javon Bolt. We got Jess Olam. Spawn on top left side as our Orange Star Sasha. We got Moo G6. Either way, let's go and get started. Sasha does have plus 100 funds per property, so she gets effectively plus 10% increase income. Bombbolt gets plus 10, plus 10, so effectively his units are plus 10% more effective. So somewhat even matchup in that aspect. 10% more units versus 10% more effectiveness. This map is a Fog of War map. We do have a black boat on both sides for minor spotting, very minor spotting. And we do have an early APC to pull with Sasha, while Vombo has gone for an early artillery piece. Maybe eyeing to barrage one of the pipe scenes, maybe eyeing to push forward. Maybe just trying to barrage down the black boat. I thought I fixed the sound bug, but it looks like this, I've been having issues with sound recording this game. I don't know what's causing it. It's like resources, I think, not being properly distributed. Does throw around onto the black boat there. We do have an initial tank to pull out, going forward to capture some properties. Now got an artillery piece here that's probably going to be barraging down the pipe scene. Another tank deployed in the field, as well as more infantry. Wow, that sound's really bugging out. Give me a moment. I'm going to try to fix... Oh, great. That's straight up just crashing. Let's try switching the old sound replayer. My apologies. Give me one moment. And yep, I think this is good. Yep. A little bit louder, but should be fine. This is the other sound player. I think it's this pros and cons both one. That other one caused a lot of lag spikes for me. I think it's just resource distribution. This one, yeah, the music's too loud. I think as well, if I don't go too quickly with this sound replay, it cuts out the sound out with the other one. Let the units push way forward. And I can never get this sound balancing right as well. Interface volume, I'm guessing that's that, while the sound effect. Let's keep reboot themes on. Recon pushing down south. Do have the artillery piece here. More rounds of the pipe scene. The pipe scene has... I have trouble highlighting it. 55 health. There we go. Not sure why I had trouble highlighting it. Gets good strike there on the infantry unit. First strike of the game. Interrupts the capture there. Another tank. Infantry. Von Bolt now straight forward there. Does get a good counter strike there. Putting that tank down to 3 health. That plus 10% of extra firepower is very useful. Plus he does have the comm tower. Sasha has her own comm tower as well. Infantry tank. Gets a good strike there. Infantry unit goes down. Puts some rounds in the pipe scene there. Now the pipe scene does get fully destroyed. Recon hitting down south. Does get a good strike on this infantry unit. Tank moving its way forward. This base here is surrounded by mountains, so destroying this pipe scene allows you to reinforce in this direction. But it's equal distance from this base here, so maybe better build units back here and then build infantry units here. Because after all, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's equal distance getting out that pipe scene. But that's triple tank, so don't need to worry about equal distance. Sasha right now does have 18,700, so she has quite a bit of extra income going on in. I'm curious as well. Let me just do a quick check on one of her stuff. She has 18 properties. And a comm tower. For the 18 properties, that also includes ones that don't necessarily provide income as well. That number's mostly meant for calculating, what's it called? Her name. Kindle's power, or superpower. But she probably has, what, 17 properties? Yeah, 17 properties would put at 18,700. Von Bolt does in turn 1,600 as well, so Sasha does have great income, and even more income. Puts around to the black boat there. Generates some power charge, which she can crash from hard crash, but she can save up for a little bit. Battlecopter infantry anti-air, and does a base skip. Total properties being captured there. This is 18 versus 19 properties at the moment. Good strikes down the recon unit. Gotta make sure I don't hit that next turn button too quickly. Battlecopter infantry. He has a good strike on the infantry on the mountains. Capture that property there. Infantry in the mountains doing a good job drawing a lot of fire, but of course it was inevitable going down. Do you have 3 Von Bolt tanks there versus 3 Sasha tanks? All of Von Bolt's tanks are out of vision range, in which means Von Bolt could get a pretty good strike there, though his recons right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these tanks are out of vision range. That's probably why Sasha left them there, to avoid the vision range primarily. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is in the vision range. Of course, it was on top of the mountain. Shot against the unit in the mountain as well. Get some good strikes there. Another battlecopter infantry, recon. Bombo starts to turn 22,000. Probably not going to see a Neo tank or a bomber. Artillery takes out the infantry unit there. Wards puts the unit in front of the infantry unit, trying to prevent it from being struck. Rather than doing join and capture, tank in the woods. Recon spot those tanks. Now these tanks will get some great strikes. Battlecopter push way forward. With 2 tanks there, maybe a pretty safe gamble to charge forward into the fog of war. Does interrupt the capture there. Fully stops the capture, gets a good strike there from the city. This tank is in range. This tank is not in range. Yep, had to use that other tank to strike the city. So, could just push forward a little bit with the tanks. Just something to get primed, ready for a strike on the various tanks next turn. This tank could easily be bait for this tank that he knows exists. Of course, got some Sasha tanks over here. Takes out that one, gets first strike on that tank there. And takes out that tank entirely. Thought it was going to be a market crash relatively soon. Great strike on to the piece and gets a good strike on the tank as well. Mark crash does at least provide her +10/+10. Infantry, tank, and tank. Bombbolt starts the turn with 24,000. There's a possibility of a Neo tank this turn. Let's find out. Overall, Sasha ended the turn with 109,000. Bombbolt starts the turn with 80,000. So they're effectively a turn-turn basis. Bombbolt, I think, slightly falling behind, but just only slightly at this point in time. His first strike on that tank, as well as on that tank. And remember as well, Sasha's not getting any sort of power charge, though she did already get enough charge left over for another Mark Crash, so she has that available. Does take a bit of a not great shot there. Artillery gets what damage it can. Just pulls back the tanks, just trying to do what damage he can with these forces that he's definitely going to lose. And putting rounds to the recon is not super important. You have to fully wipe out the recon to deny the capability of a recon, which is to provide reconnaissance. And there is a Neo tank as I predicted. Sasha starts the turn of 25,000. Possible bomber, triple infantry, but it's up to her. She does have 800 income lead, so it looks like she's down by one property. Has 18 properties versus 19. Takes out those things there, plus also ended the turn on top of the city, getting some forward repairs. Market crash is available. Doesn't need to pop it right now. She could charge up a significant amount of power charge and then pop it later. She does go a Neo tank for herself as well. Storming up north stops that capture entirely. Artillery piece pushing forward. Neo tank coming over here, trying to stabilize that region. This region, Bombbolt has a good presence, but can easily change. It'll be a 9, 8, and full health tank. Recon, battlecopter, infantry. Sasha has 2 reinforcing tanks and the battlecopters, so this can easily swing to her favor. Bombbolt ends the turn of 108,000. Sasha starts her turn of 118 with, of course, her day-to-day income, so she's pretty far ahead. Bombbolt did save a bit of money there, maybe eyeing for another Neo tank. This map is quite large, so the mobility of Neo tanks are quite useful. I think Neo tanks generally do better in smaller maps, able to close distance a little bit more easily. Those are just pushing forward as well. Got infantry, battlecopter, recon. Saves a bit of money there. Great first strike there. Finish off that tank. Artillery piece just creeping its way forward. Wards it. Protects it with some infantry. And looks like Bombbolt pulled pretty far back. Looks like he's going to just withdraw the other region. Doesn't it have... I don't think pulling back the 9 health tank this far back is a good idea. I think falling back to the forest ball would be best. Excuse me. With our cast vision, we know that Bombbolt needs an anti-air up here. Goes for another Neo tank and base skips. Gets trapped. Good strike there. Bombbolt has no anti-airs on the map entirely, so this battlecopter is going to reign supreme. He only has one battlecopter engage the battlecopters. Oh crap. I hit the next turn button. Gotta just... My bad. Or I hit the previous turn button. Battlecopter infantry, anti-air infantry. Tank is a good strike on the recon. Recon finished off the recon. Puts the tank on top of the city, so now those exposed. Battlecopter heading up north. Neo tank is a great strike on that tank. This Neo tank, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just out of range. While I'm moving forward to this forest, it'd be a good spot for the Neo tank. She definitely wants to try to get a first strike onto that Neo tank. She's actually pretty close to a War Bonds. War Bonds, if I were to bring this CO chart onto another screen, gives 50% of the damage dealt in funds in return. And doing that against a, whatchamacallit, against a Neo tank among other engagements could actually be useful. How much is it needed to be useful? Well, if she were to say generate 20,000 funds in one turn, she effectively gets one entire turn in income for free. But it's no gold rush from Colin, that's for sure. But it's a guaranteed plus 50% of your current turn's income or multiple turns' income. Looks like Sasha's rotating forces around a little bit. Push for some tanks. Bombbolt does have a recon there, which she doesn't see it. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So both of these, all those tanks are spotted. Battlecopter as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So Bombbolt has pretty good vision there. He could charge into the range of the battlecopter just to get first strikes on every single one of those tanks. So that infantry unit there gets a good strike. Battlecopter gets a good strike there. And this anti-air should be in range of that battlecopter. This 9 health tank is still there. Double anti-air was deployed by Von Bolt, and we do have a War Bonds available next turn. This actually may be a time for War Bonds. Von Bolt is being hyper aggressive. If she pops with War Bonds, Von Bolt will get his Ex Machina. She did end the turn with a little bit high 7,000, and with her Murder Crash, it provides 10 times funds divided by 5,000 percentage of the maximum power bar. So 500 funds divided by 500, which is 26. So they reduce the opponent's power bar by 25%. I think this is a time for War Bonds. Neo tanks in range of Neo tank. Actually, just need to get a bit of cleanup there, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think it's time for War Bonds. Let's see. Capture property. Push forward with a bit of scouting. Activated Market Crash. She won in the +10/+10. You gotta pop Market Crash now to the +10/+10, or you do it after you... Actually, no. It didn't matter if you do it before and after because it didn't wipe out Von Bolt's power bar. So doing it afterwards made no difference to do it rather than doing it before. But this may have been the time to do a War Bonds. Let's just keep an eye on this. 161. Good strike there. It's good strikes there. The Neo tank did not get a first strike in the Neo tank. It did have on top of property, so it gets plus 30% defense. tank, infantry tank. And Von Bolt goes down from 161 down to 134. If it was War Bonds, it would have provided, let's see, 26, 20, divide that in half, so 13,000 funds? Not really that worth it. So I think Market War Bonds probably better in a high fund situation. Does that seem like probably, yeah, War Bonds probably was definitely not the call. You have to go to maximum value engagements again if you have a War Bonds active, which she could have perhaps done a little better on, but now she does still have plenty of power charge for another market crash. She can get a chain of market crashes to sink Von Bolt's power charge. A number of Von Bolt tanks there. We also got artillery and anti-air. Von Bolt ends the turn for 143. Sasha starts the turn for 118 and has 32,000 funds in the bank. She can bring something very heavy. She can go for some free power charge to charge up her own power charge up before she pops another market crash. She definitely should pop a market crash. A lot of cases where she doesn't necessarily need the +10/+10. Pops it there. It's actually, Von Bolt still has a massive force up there. She has no real counter. I think she may need to go for a Mega Tank or a Bomber. One of the two. She did also get a boosted market crash that effectively reducing Von Bolt's power charge by 30% roughly. Bomber, infantry, anti-air. I think the Bomber is a good choice. She has seen very little Von Bolt anti-air, so the Bomber will do quite good with the Neo tanks. And how much power charge does she have left over? Almost enough for another market crash. So she's getting great chain of market crashes. Von Bolt's being very defensive, or at least down over here. She does have quite a bit of force there. Von Bolt needs maybe another anti-air. Got 2.5 battle copters remaining. And the Bomber is out of range of the Neo tank. She will start to turn for 139. Has 22,000 income, so she has 20 properties versus Von Bolt's 19. So there's probably one property that's still despicable neutral somewhere. Oh, she just captured one, so flipped one. Great spot for a recon. Infantry, tank, infantry, battlecopter. Von Bolt has, yep, right now 18 versus 20 properties. Captured up 2 properties there, so it's back down to 19 versus 21. Neo strike, a Neo take on Neo tank, getting a lot of good damage there and power charge. Here could charge forward and gun down the artillery piece, but that means you'll have no anti-air in the region. Recon does go down. He does go ahead and do that. Mark crash is, of course, very much easy available. She could try getting a, I think she should be a bit aggressive. Oh, pops immediately. She knew exactly how much power charge it will remove. I think she still could have been aggressive to get free damage and to keep more power charge going, but let's see what she does overall. Saxon Neo tank, Bomber, nukes the Neo tank. Go strike that anti-air. That's anti-air. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of range both the battle. Oh, in range of that battle copter. Pulling back out of this region. Ends turn of 125,000 with 8,000 to bank. Vomble starts turn of 127,000 with 90,000 bank, so still very even. Just slightly in favor of Von Bolt, though it feels like Sasha has a better grasp in the game. But that's just more of an opinion at this point. Getting a lot of good tank strikes there. Anti-air hits the battlecopter. Trying to flip more properties. Picks up that one. And Ex Machina is getting ever so closer, but she has enough power charge for another mark crash, so Ex Machina is still pretty far away. This little extra income there will result in additional 5% power charge consumption of the market crash. But that may be going to be her last mark crash. They're getting pretty expensive right now. No, not really. 30 faster for Ex Machina is just 9,000. War Bonds is finally surpassed the cost of Ex Machina. But there is a point where she will consume more funding charged than it will take away. But she's doing a great job of keeping Von Bolt's superpower just not available. Pops the market crash. She's also down to 87,000 versus Von Bolt's end of turn of 142. So she's severely far behind. She does have the bomber, which is a very powerful unit. Takes a shot against the anti-air and decides to resign there. This Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Let me just adjust the game. That seems pretty good to me. Either way, let's get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars iWeb replay. So on bottom right side is the Blue Moon Eagle. We got Uxna. Spot on top left side as the was a Scion or Azure asteroid. We got Tethys. Of course, Olaf has no day-to-day passive other than being immune to snow, while Eagle has plus 50% attack and 10% defense on air units, and they consume 2 less fuel per day. And naval units are completely worthless on a map where naval units are completely worthless. Either way, let's get started. This map is, of course, Fog of War. It's triple base with a airport in the corners. We've got a port for both sides with a shore on the outside. It's purely meant for refueling and resupplying landers, and most likely for this only for this black boat there. Oh, and we do have a bit of variation of deployment of infantry units. Earlier recon deployed up by Olaf. Eagle's ground game is still completely and utterly ordinary, so it's an equal footing to Olaf. Both of these CEOs have completely worthless powers. Only Blizzard's probably a bit more useful than Lightning Drive. And now we got a T-Copter by Eagle. Doesn't get any plus increased movement speed, but at least get plus 10% defense, making more resilient to gunfire. Recon will spot this infantry unit there. Another recon on the field, so Eagle's going aggressive with the recons. There's a decent amount of roads there, so it's easy to get out of the base, and it's only a handful of planes you have to worry about, like 1 here and 2 here. And none this way until you get right there. And now Eagle will go for his own reconnaissance. We do now have Eagle tanks deployed on the field. Let's excuse me a moment when I get my drink in a better spot. I like having my camera controls, or in most games, in this case, turn controls with my left hand, so I can have my right hand open to move around the mouse and take drinks like this. You now have an Eagle tank deployed on the field. Did I say Eagle on top left? That's Olaf. I'm getting the colors mixed up. We got blue and off blue. And one player is, one of the CEOs is, both CEOs also wearing blue. And one CEO is supposed to be blue. So a lot of blue. Just don't sing the blues. You don't have to worry about singing in the rain, just in snow. We do have a nice little interrupt up here. Right now, Olaf has 14 properties versus 13 of Eagles. Relatively even so far. Gets a strike there as well. I wonder if I need to turn up the music a little bit. Sorry. I think that should be good. Oops. Tank recon. It feels like Olaf's music is pretty loud, while Eagle's just a little bit too quiet. And here, mech infantry. So we do have a mech by Olaf. That's unusual. The black boat will take a turn to come back, so you can probably go for mech infantry and load them up into the black boat there. Gets a good strike there. Takes out the infantry unit and started capturing the city now. Eagle right now has 19,000. Olaf has 16. So it looks like Olaf will flip the property next turn. He will do a flip. Did nothing come out there? He moved up north, but nothing got evacuated out this liner. Was it empty? Got battlecopter and tank. It's a good strike on that infantry unit there. Olaf has right now 17,000 versus, I think Eagle's just now 18 since that property flip. Yep. Gets a good strike on that infantry unit there. Of course, Eagle did get a first strike in his bonus tank, and that's the only tank in this region, so that is a pretty good victory there by Eagle. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. But both players now have a battlecopter. Mech pushing down south, very nice. That mech can be useful, though it's a little bit limited, of course, by its own mobility. Tank moving its way forward, not going down south. So Olaf is going more or less forth at the southern flank at the current rate. He needs another tank there. He does have battlecopter, which is useful. Eagle does have anti-air push way forward. Gets rid of the unit that's on top of the comm tower. Good strike there. He does have the mech spot, which can get a first strike on the recon. Takes out that infantry unit there. Does manage to get a first strike on the mech, though. Blackwell can heal it up by 1 point. Tank anti-air infantry. Though he will probably need to pull back the black boats to get the next round pushing forward, so I don't think he can repair this mech at the moment. Good strikes there. This recon is actually getting low on fuel. Got multiple tanks up north for Olaf. Not a great position there. Gets a great strike on that one. Pulls back the mech across the mountain onto the city. Finish off that unit. Get some good strikes there. Artillery piece is in range of some of the infantry units. Anti-air is right here. Those 6 in range of the battle copters. That battle copter is done for. Olaf taking some sizable losses over here. Good strike there on the infantry unit. Neo tank a couple more infantry units. Got a lot of tanks up here. Resupplies that one and drops that off. So now he has 2 mechs in this region. The recon is somewhat in range, just needs to clear it out, maybe with something, but that'll be something for the next turn. More tanks being pulled up by Olaf. So Eagle's Neo tank can get some good work done. Catch another property there at 20,000. Some units rotating around. Got the infantry unit on top of the mountain to provide some good spotting. Pulls back his battle copter. Drops off the infantry unit there. Neo tank pushes way forward up here. Tank, recon, and a battle copter. Gets a good strike on that tank and follows with another good strike. Recon may be able to finish off that one, but there's a lot of wounded infantry units you can use to take it out. Great strike there. 2 of 1 gets taken out. Does use the recon to take out the tank. Recon's down to 18 health. Not 18 health, 18 fuel. I'm not sure something. Oh, I just realized something as well. There we go. That should expand out. Now you can see the fuel and ammo and health of units. Tank, recon, and anti-air. Got a Winter Fury almost available. Eagle's taking some many great engagements there. Good strike there on that one, and now do have a superpower available for Olaf. This will call at least 20% of Eagle's value. Goes from 120 down to probably close to 90. Definitely probably close to 100,000. But here comes the Winter Fury. Good strikes there. Takes out that unit there. Starting to flip the column tower. Tank gets good strike there. Tank's moving over the left flank or right flank. There's a lot of tanks here. 1, 2. I could just highlight this. He has currently 9 tanks versus just Eagle's 3. And he does have a Neo tank. And a lightning strike is likely available this turn, but everything's going to be moving pretty slow to the snow. He may need to save it to the next turn. Lightning strike is now available. I think he's just going to wait out the storm and then probably try to pop one. And the recon does fall back on the top of the city with 7 fuel remaining. So not only get back up to full health, they also get up back full fuel. While it's falling back, he does not like the fact that his opponent's lightning strike is available. I think as well, Eagle could just not pop lightning strike forward. He could just simply creep his way forward, and then Olaf is either have to attack or pull back even more. He can only pull back for so far. Neo Tank falls back to the city to get some healing. Oops, sorry. That's my drink popping. We do, of course, it looks like no lightning strike available this turn. There's a slow creep forward. Honestly, Eagle was not really ready for his own lightning strike. Olaf did really good damage to him, and the lack of tanks in the field really helps prevent Eagle from striking forward. But now, starting to go for more mobile assets. Olaf does have 2,000 increase income. Now it's Eagle's turn. Get some good strikes in the center. Great strike there. Like I said as well, Eagle's just going to creep his way forward. He's getting some easy victories there. And I think as well, Eagle's first turn can be quite bad because he will have the second turn where he can push even farther. Doesn't get the captures there. He has to keep hold of those properties. He also keeps Black Bolt here, which does buy a little bit extra protection for these mechs. Getting some small engagements. There's the Battlecopter as well. With a powerful lightning strike, Olaf can counter with a Winter Fury, likely. And it looks like Olaf is going to charge. You can blunt his opponent's lightning strike by wounding everything. Don't focus on killing, just focus on wounding stuff. Because a 5 health tank is going to have trouble with a double turn. And plus he doesn't worry about doing a bleed to his opponent or a power charge bleed. One thing that Olaf could do is actually pop a Blizzard. A Blizzard right now wouldn't be half bad because it will neuter Eagle's lightning strike, particularly the aircraft. I think he should pop a Blizzard. He does go for a bomber. Will he pop the Blizzard? He does not. And here comes the lightning strike. Or should I say, once he completes his turn, we will see the lightning strike. He's being hyper aggressive, of course, because he can be this turn. It's a good shot there. And now here comes the lightning strike. Here is the double turn. He still has a recon here, so that could be a bit more aggressive pushing for the spot. Olaf has his Winter Fury available. Will he hold on long enough? How much is he going to lose? Nice thing as well, Eagle also has 2,000 in the bank, so he can get 2 more infantry units. Yep, that was a pretty good lightning strike. He's down 87,000. And here comes the Winter Fury. I wonder if popping the Blizzard would have been the good call. He if you, I guess if somebody were to slow down and take a look at the movements of everything, reducing everything's movement range by 1 and the aircraft range by in half is very significant. Olaf ends the turn for 107,000. Eagle has 110, so he's ahead by about a turn, but Olaf did a pretty good job evening out with the Winter Fury. Charlie piece here is not discovered at the moment. Olaf's turn. Olaf now has 81,000. So the counterattack was quite significant. Here comes the bomber. Takes out the anti-air. Artillery gets a good strike there. And it looks like Olaf does go ahead and resign this Angrade, saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Let's see now. Oh, because I don't need to adjust the mini map or the map a little bit. Just need to rotate over here because Andy's name is long. There it goes. Greetings everyone, and great here for another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn bottom left side as the Yellow Comet Rachel. We got Jess Elam. Spawn top right side as the Blue Moon Andy. We got Commander Wolf. You gotta say it with enunciation since it's all capitalized. Either way, this is a Fog of War map of triple bases and a airport. Both players do also start out with a city in the corner there, of Impotent's corner. No way to capture it. I think it's just there to get a little extra income since labs do not provide any income. This is a lab map. It's just meant 1,000 income to replace the HQ income, or lack thereof HQ. Tank and infantry. Also, Andy's name is very long. They have the same power charge requirements, but it's just off-center since the Andy's name is just very long. Recon infantry. Another tank. And the tank's heading down south. Rachel's tank is over here, so it looks like we'll find each other too soon. Rachel's recon push way forward. Tank's just a little bit short there, effectively act as a road. Probably a good spot for this tank would be this forest. Does. Recon, anti-air, and infantry. Recon heading up north onto the forest. Artillery, tank, infantry. Gets a first strike on this tank there. Very nice. It's a pretty big victory for Andy early on. There's no follow-up or retaliation for that tank. Gets a good strike on that infantry unit there and starting to capture some properties. Interrupt that capture as well. They both have 15,000 income at the moment, and Rachel's getting her comm tower now. Andy has captured up this harbor there, so does Rachel. Tank, infantry. Good strike there. Does get trapped there a little bit. Gets a good strike in the infantry unit there. And these tanks are doing very good work. Rachel can always pull back a tank onto a city. She does get +1 health or repair rate. She's had to pay for those said repairs, but does repair at a faster rate. Tank does get a strike there. And there as well. Utility piece does get on top of the forest. Tank infantry. Lots of properties captured on up. Recon gets good strike there. Good strike onto this tank. Time to fall back up north. Tank infantry. Picks up that infantry unit there, and we'll get another little pick there. Small picks right now for Rachel, which is going to be very useful. And now Rachel does have these 2 tanks there, and this 7 health tank will go up to full health next turn. So there's going to be 4 full health tanks here with an artillery piece and a good amount of infantry there. Does spot Rachel's tank there, and will finish it off. And it looks like Andy figure out what an airport is. Goes with Battlecopter. Rachel's Battlecopter's on field. She also has a good amount of income stored on up. It's good strikes there. Both players have now their power available. Lucky Lass is incredibly useless. Was it plus 20% luck? Let me look that up. Improves luck damage from 0 to plus 39, so it's plus 30% luck. So effectively on average plus 15% firepower with a plus 10 tracking power and a superpower, which is also compounding, which does multiplicatively apply for luck. So it is actually not bad, along with the comm tower as well. So we'll squeeze out a little bit additional luck damage for 1 comm tower in the course of plus 10. Battlecopter infantry, tank infantry. Kills that off there, and right now Andy has nothing in this region. Rachel has some units for defense, but she's on to get overran. She does have this battlecopter here, so maybe sending the tanks there to take out the anti-air to allow the battlecopter more freedom is a possibility. Andy has a power available, which means he could get a nice little bit of global healing. We may just save it up after Rachel's superpower, because who knows where that'll land. Because Rachel's superpower is fire 3 silos, and let's see, greatest accumulation of foot soldier HP first, unit value second, and then unit HP in third. Battlecopter infantry tank. We may see covering fire this turn. So overall Andy has pulled back, so we probably won't see covering fire. Rachel has 21,000 income at the moment, and Los is trying to flip a lab and a city. Nice little merge there. Medium tank to pull in the field. Recon, anti-air. Both sides not trying to be aggressive. Both sides are wary of their opponent's superpower. Andy's +1 range as well as global healing is very, very nice. What was it? Plus 20%, plus 10% firepower, +1 movement, and +5 health. Rachel has a pretty large ball of units here. Both players have 20,000 income at the moment. As the long game goes on, the longer it'll just be a stalemate. Rifles and Properties has a tank to support in this region. Recon Infantry could probably stop the capture entirely. Neither side is being aggressive, so I'm just going to fast forward a little bit. Tank and battlecopter there. Stops that capture. Now that tank will basically go down for free to the artillery piece, which may give her enough value for a covering fire. Getting close to it. Tank has to go completely down in order to get cover firing going, so it may be a good idea just to wound the tank. And there's covering fire available. Looks like Andy's ahead by about a turn when it comes to unit value. Andy goes for a rocket. Here comes covering fire, and I think that's the greatest accumulation of infantry health first. So that's going to be a massive salvo here, probably around here, and then another one probably around here. I guess she's not launching covering fire just yet. I have a feeling that rock is going to get hit by the covering fire. It's for the greatest accumulation of value. Okay, it looks like the infantry missile strike here. And I think a value will strike here, and health could then strike here. Both sides just sort of setting on up. Looks like she's not going to fire, covering fire. And he's going to try to claim some properties down here. Is a good idea. We do have this infantry here trying to provoke a conflict. And as well, the covering fire missiles does do friendly fire damage. But likely a covering fire missile will strike right here. Yeah, we'll put that 1 health infantry unit to 1% health. Taking out a lot of infantry there. Hyper upgrades soon be available. Will Andy pop hyper upgrade just to get the +1 movement, or will he wait until after covering fire? I mean, this is a pretty big congestion here. Definitely cover anti-infantry missile strikes right here, but there's a lot of good groups here. I think covering fire should be just popped just to get the damage done. But then again, at this point in time, hyper upgrade will just counter and absorb it all. So at this point in time, she can no longer just pop it and wait it out. He is charging, looks like. Is that full charge? Looks like Andy's going for it. He's going to keep his superpower probably until after the covering fire. Oh, he pops it now. Let's see how this goes. Plus 1 movement. I can understand plus 1 movement and plus 10% firepower. They also topped off all the units he pushed for. Will he get enough damage done this turn? So we got a medium tank here, which is uncontested, and a neo tank, and good number of battle cops in reserve. I don't think it's going to go great for Andy. Yeah, I think the covering fire is going to destroy him. Let's see. The first one will probably strike around here. Could strike here or could strike one here. The only one I don't know where exactly the infantry silo would probably land somewhere healthy with these full health 2 4 health infantry units. On that, how deadly is this going to be? Andy had started end of turn for 237. Rachel starts for 178. Oh, I see 1 health units. I think it got triple tapped right around here. So if this is only 1 health, this is 4 and this is 7. So 1 definitely landed right here. 1 probably landed right here. And the infantry one probably landed right here. I think they landed right here. It's that battle copter. Rachel does have a very good number of battle copters on the field. And has a lot of good tanks on the field. This rocket is here, but I think it's down to 1 health potentially. Could be down to just a 4 health. I think this rocket is pretty wounded. Stops, interrupts some captures. Tank infantry, battlecopter infantry. Yep, looks like the rocket did get hit by 2 missiles, and all the stuff is at 1 health. Andy now has 123. He lost over 100,000 value that last turn. And he has no way to repair. I think he should have held up with hyper repair or hyper upgrade. This would at least got everything like plus 5 health what it is right now, making them usable. Another rocket deployed by Andy. Try and pull back those units. He probably should pop a hyper repair as soon as he can. In here, tank infantry. Battlecopter goes down. Hyper repair now available. Stops those captures there. Takes out that rocket. Takes out the artillery piece. I think Andy's going to be down to 80,000 unit value on the field. He has a full hyper upgrade available. I did not realize that. That would actually be very important. There's a lot of wounded stuff here that could use the extra health, but nothing highly threatening. That's the problem. No tanks. He only has like 1 health tank, 4 health tank. Down to 77. Oof. Pops the hyper upgrade. Gets back to 100,000. He has these amount of indirects to counterattack with, that's for sure. He has nothing to stop the neo tank nor the medium tank. At least reliably. Never, you know, a rocket can always be very useful. The problem is, it's always iffy. And another covering fire is now available. AD's superpowers off rhythms, so he can't repair himself up after the covering fire. And does go ahead and resign there. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Probably do one more by web replay and then go ahead and go on Tiny Wars. And this is a very large map. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Let's see, right now on my screen, everything is... There we go. I could cut off some of the borders, but this shall have to do. You know what? I'm going to cut off a little bit of the borders. Oops. Because we only need that much shown. I think that would be good. Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn on the north side as the... What color is this? Elo Galaxy. We got Eurostar. Spawn on the south side as the Black Hole Olaf. We got JNZ, which is... This map is incredibly large. I did go ahead and cut off the borders a little bit top and bottom since it's just shores and forests. But overall, this map is large, but with a lot of dead area. This map is quite round. There's a lot of forest inside. I haven't cast this map yet. We do also have double airport here. Comm towers in the center as well, and comm towers in the corners. So it's just 2 comm towers per player. And the more I look at it, the more and more I realize there's actually a little bit less properties than one would imagine. It's a little bit more sparse on properties than some other maps. There's also going to be a large amount of forests here, which could be easy to push forward a rocket and try and lock down a airport here, like charge 4 and put it right there. 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know how this will go. We do now have an Olaf tank here. Push way forward. Eagle has a tank and a recon now in the field. Artillery piece also pulled in the field by Olaf. Another tank pushed way forward. Got the recon right here, so able to spot this infantry, no problem. This tank, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so is able to protect that infantry unit, or at least they're able to retaliate against it. Does got that one unit there. Got now an Eagle artillery piece in the center of the map as well. Tank anti-air. This is a double base map, right? So going to be a lot of use from the airports. Forward airport will of course provide forward spawns, but at least there's a backside airport to get a safe spawn. And we do now have a Olaf battlecopter down south. No, this is trip base. We've got also another base way down here. It's going to be a very long reinforcement. So it's probably just pretty much meant for infantry to travel in the forest up over here. Got a couple Olaf tanks and an anti-air, as well as a artillery piece there. Eagle has tanks in range, but the Olaf tanks are out of vision at the moment. If this infantry unit can't get on top of the mountain, a little bit too far away, he does take out that unit there. couple more tanks and an infantry unit. Good strike there. Olaf is behind in income, 17,000 versus 19. Does get a lot of good first strikes here on those tanks. This tank can range this artillery piece there. Be a little bit gamble going through the fog of war. Decides not to go do it. Now this artillery piece will get a first strike onto that tank. Now sorry, first strike, but a strike. Picks up the tank there with the artillery piece. Both players have now the power, which are both equally not useful. Though Olaf's power, Blizzard, could be used to blunt the lightning drive of Eagles. And this map is quite large, so the reduced movement speed could be quite detrimental. Tank infantry. Battlecopter does go down there. Tank strikes on the tank. Good strike there on the infantry unit, takes it out. Another tank and anti-air, or infantry anti-air. Olaf nearly has his Winter Fury available. If he gets a lot of good engagements, he should be able to get it. Got artillery piece in range of this tank, or in range of two tanks. Good strike there on the anti-air. Anti-air takes out anti-air, and there is the Winter Fury. And I believe this tank's at 1% health, so those two health infantry units should be able to finish it off. Yes, it does. Great strike there on the tank as well. And here gets a good strike on the artillery piece. Eagle's definitely going to be hurting, though Eagle didn't end the turn with most of his units on, or the rest of his units on top of properties, so you can repair them up, but he's going to lose every single day-to-day income there. He probably won't be able to pop a lightning strike next turn because of this snow effect as well. 15,000 or 50, he had 7,000, now went down to 15. So it did consume quite a bit of fundings there. Only got about 12,000 funds this turn. Pulls back some of those wounded units there. Infantry tank. Recon does go down there. Lightning strike is available. Olaf may be pushing a little too far forward. And Eagle is lacking recon spot for the lightning strike. Olaf right now has 70,000 on the field. Goes for medium tank recon infantry. So he has 99,000 on the field with 1,000 base, so he has 100,000. Eagle will start the turn with only 63 with 17,000 in the bank, but the lightning drive is available, or lightning strike. I have a feeling we're going to see it this turn. I think as well, some of these tanks get charged forward to let the reinforcing tanks take out these tanks here. Recon, anti-air, and infantry. This does not get double turns, but you will get 2 more infantry units there. So here comes the lightning strike. Takes out that tank there. Takes out that tank there. Anti-air goes down. Battlecopter goes down. Olaf's getting pretty close to another Winter Fury. Waited for his infantry to get a +10/+10 before I had the power and superpower active before I'm taking that strike. Takes out that infantry unit there. Hits that tank there. This artillery piece is still hidden. And this tank did get a bit of healing there. Olaf now has 58,000, went from 100,000 down to 58, so he lost about 40,000 funds there. Does get a good vision there. Needed spotting for the artillery piece. Artillery piece can get a good counter, good strike there. Decides to go for the shot there. Probably should have gone for the shot before moving the tank forward. Gets trapped there. Now the artillery piece will go down. Both players are at 60,000 funds in the field. Never mind, Eagle spent his funds now. And Winter Fury is now available. This will blunt... This will even out the playing field once again. And there's the Winter Fury. Tank infantry. It's a good strike on the battlecopter, knocks it out. Of course, everything's going to be moving nice and slow. Even the recon going to move slow. Good strikes there. Tank. Olaf ends turn for 82,000. Eagle starts turn for 72 with the, of course, the day income, so it's changing back and forth each day. Does get trapped there. These wounded infantry units just being annoying. Tank infantry. And now he gets trapped there. Okay, so that capturing squad, it's still got a handful of despicable neutral property in the field. Both players at 19,000. I see two neutral properties. This one's captured up by Eagle, while this one's neutral, while this one's captured by Olaf, and while this one's neutral. Olaf's medium tank moving around. Anti-air infantry. Artillery, infantry. Medium takes a great strike there on that regular tank. Lots of good strikes here by Olaf, taking out a good number of these outlying forces. Tank again. Looks like just been spamming out tanks. Olaf does end the turn for 117. Eagle starts turn for 85, so Olaf's starting to pull a slight advantage. Battlecopter's getting good strikes there, but they may be in range of this anti-air. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one of these battlecopters will go down next turn. We now have a medium tank followed by Eagle to counter his opponent's medium tank, but it'll take a couple turns just at the front line. Got infantry, tank, and recon. And now we got a Neo tank by Eagle as well, so he's trying to bring in some heavier tanks. Granted, Olaf can always whittle down with the Winter. Getting a lot of good strikes there. Starting to push pretty far forward. Taking out a lot of the outlying units. This infantry units still in the forest, providing some spotting, nothing too significant. But Olaf's going to push forward with a good number of tanks, and now goes for his own Neo tank. Excuse me. Good strike there. We do have a medium tank here. It's at 8 health. I just realized something as well. You guys can't see the health of the unit. See now there, 8 health. Whoops. And now I've got the lightning strike. Let's see how well this goes. Got the Neo tank and the medium tank ready to push forward as well. Olaf would definitely get his Winter Fury next turn. Neo tank gets a good strike there. Their artillery piece may be able to finish off this medium tank. Recon? Trying to get the kill there? It's definitely relying on luck. Definitely did not roll enough luck. The artillery piece does not decide to finish off. I think the artillery piece could have finished off, or the anti-air. Not sure why the artillery piece just moved right there. Now here comes Winter Fury. Eagle end of turn of 114. Olaf starts turn with just 70. And Eagle will take massive damage from the Winter. That was not the button I expected to be pressed. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Definitely not the button I was expecting to be pressed. Alright, that is 4 Advanced War Days of Ruin, not Days of Ruin, by Web replays done. Let's go on to some Tiny Wars. Tiny Wars Classic. I do have a replay that's submitted to me. I just let me bring up the notepad file where I keep the replays. And yep, players, 19 turns, not bad. So let's go and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on south side as the gray Cyrus. We've got McDonald. Spawn north side as the red Banner. We got Ritmo. Banner is, of course, slightly north of the cartridge counterparts, has standard boarding cost, standard radius, only has one CO zone expansion at fully maxed out, and of course, the regular superpower. Direct units get, and only affects direct units, no +10/+10 for all units. Get +10% offense and +30% defense for all direct units, and of course, can get +3 healing. Cyrus is actually a custom CO in Advanced Wars Days of Ruin, Tiny Wars. He has the 53, 30, 60, 60, all basically standard there. When it comes to his day-to-day, he does have the slightly buffed +15/+15 for all units. And does get, for power unlevels a CO unit, reverts back going from CO promoted, fully leveled up, to completely, utterly ordinary. You can reload a CO to any unit, unweighted unit, for no boarding costs, so you can attack up your CO unit. And all unloaded enemy units at a distance of no more of a 2x2 2 grid takes 2 points of damage. So it's basically a free 2 damage missile silo, if I'm reading that correctly. So you get a weak missile silo as well. Either way, let's... Oh, what's this button? There's a new button there I'm going to probably worry about after this game. Let's go ahead and get started. This map is a Fog of War. We do have, of course, it is double base, one airport, so it's going to be more, probably a bit more battle copters than normal. We do have a pair of cities in the corners that required a transport copter drop on in. There's also a pair of already captured temporary airports, which will help provide for full healing and reinforcements. There's also a seaport already on the field as well. So possible air seaport shenanigans. Or maybe shenan once rather than somebody to shenan again. I could see maybe at most a battleship. I don't think we want to see aircraft carrier since there's already a full airport on the map. So at most a battleship for shore bombardment. But that's pretty much just it as a possibility for naval. We do have a bike, 3 bikes now deployed in the field. Bike there, so quadruple bike in the field. There's just triple at the moment. And there's actually a decent number of cities beyond the mountain pass, so you can't use bikes to get them. Regular infantry can still cross the mountain. Just start hiking. Now got a recon on the field. This could be a CO unit recon, but maybe not. Oh, there's also a shore right there, or a beach. Another recon, as well as CO loaded up in that recon. We do have a T-copter by Cyrus, which is going to be, he's going to be eyeing for some of these cities. Will be northern and southern cities. He could actually try for both, and just leave an infantry unit there to camp. Actually, if you leave an infantry unit on those cities, it would prevent somebody from dropping off. They have to bring something over to clean it up, like a battlecopter or a duster. Does find the unit on top of the radar station. Radar station does provide 3 defense stars as well as income. Does it provide repairs? I don't know why I'm questioning myself with that. That could provide repairs. The radar station will also provide some decent vision there. Pretty good vision. 5 tiles around it, barring hiding spots. CO unit does get a nice 10 extra charge. There's also potential more charge in range. Right now, both players have 15,000 income. Tank and flare pushing down the center. We got anti-air here. Artillery piece now in the field. And does get on top of those islands. Very nice. Gets a strike there. Guess we'll find out whether or not radar stations heal or not very soon. Battlecopter. And does not resupply there, but does provide income and 3 stars of defense. Remember as well, Days of Ruin, stars, defense stars have been reworked. Cities only provide 2. Forests provides 3. Well, both hide you. Wasteland provides 2, but also provides reduced movement speed as forest, as well as unable to hide stuff. So a lot of new terrain in Days of Ruin. I like it. Gives the map designers a bit more creativity. Good shot there. Battlecopter here. Cyrus does not load up a CU unit. He may load up into this battle copter, or maybe inside this bike to get booster strike for his battle copter. Throw some rounds there. Recon pushing down south. Tank, and now got a battle copter by Brenner. Tank and bike. Good strike there. As well as there. Takes out that one unit there. Brenner's CO zone's at 12. Unable to get a good strike there onto the recon. And the battle copter can't really push forward with the nearby anti-air. These good strikes there. Cyrus now at 13 energy. Did CO the bike. I think as well, thanks to his superpower design, he can always reload in something a bit more valuable anywhere. So loading up on a weak unit is a great way to get that aura going, and plus a mobile platform of bike. So I do like seeing him load up on bike and or recon. And plus, it also does make sure that you don't want to hold on to your CO power. You don't really incentivize to holding your CO power because you don't want to spend your valuable tank, CO tank, using the entire turn just to pop the CO power as well. Popping up CO power on a bike is perfectly adequately fine. Battlecopter, tank, and anti-air. Falls back there onto the top of the city. And something I want to point out as well, I'm going to stop the game. You can see here, there's only one ground path to the city. It's actually going to be hard to displace something. You have to either, you must provide spotting from on the mountain, then you can send a ground unit there, or get spotting through here, then send a mech onto the mountain. So there is a decent choke point there where artillery and rockets could be, but you have to go swing all the way around. We got a massive number of battle copters ready to charge forward here. Did get a bit of damage done there on the battle copter. Something I'll have to remind myself is Fog of War cannot hide aircraft, or at least hiders can't hide aircraft. I think they are still invisible in the Fog of War. T-copter. And a rocket. That's interesting. So he got the rockets. T-copter heading down south, maybe trying to put this infantry unit up into it. Or trying to try to push forward the mech. I want to see the T-copter over here. Try to claim both sets of property. Be greedy. Right now 23 versus 22, so Brenner's doing quite well in field control in the actual part of the map. I mentioned Pokemon may see a property flip here relatively soon. Another battlecopter, anti-air, and tank. Now got a medium tank pulled up by Brenner. Tank rotating around, battlecopter heading up north. Battlecopter anti-air flare. Good strike there, takes out the bike. Both these properties are up here, so this the artillery piece can actually displace the unit on top of the cities. Okay, that's one way to displace the infantry unit there. This needs a spotter. Brandon's doing pretty good, pushing through this on the map. Right now it's 25,000 versus Cyrus's just 21. double medium tank. I forgot how cheap medium tanks are in Days of Ruin, costing 12,000 rather than 16. But also the allows a bit more mobility. There's a lot less power extremes between the unit tiers. Brandis at 52 energy almost has a superpower available, which is not really something you need to really deploy in the field. Plus 3 healing across all units is quite nice. Has T-Copter down south as well. Unit takes push rate forward. Right now they have pretty nearly identical unit value until it gets a good strike there. Flare fired, and we'll see absolutely nothing. We do now have a Duster deployed in the field as well. Cyrus does have a good number of battle copters, so a Duster wouldn't be half bad as a counter unit. Battlecopter gets a good strike there, finish off the transport copter, load up with an infantry unit. You know, it's actually been very long last time I saw a transport copter getting shot down that's loaded. Anti-tank now deployed in the field as well. It is a little bit slow to get out of there with wheeled units. But right now the income disparity is getting quite large. 27,000 versus 19. And now he can claim that those cities up there. And Brenner will get his CO power very soon. Yes, but it is not available at the moment. Does at least get +1 race mode. Has a rocket push way forward. Cyrus can push forward. Only has 19 energy, but there's a lot of targets here. It is possible for Cyrus to get his CO power. After all, 10, 20, 30, 38. And of course, there is 58 potential power charge, actually even more of the outlying ones. So it is possible for him to get the... I'm going to go ahead and switch back down to turn-by-turn basis, because it's going to be a pretty big conflict here. Gets a good strike there, capture the radar station. Starts at 34 entry, now gets +1 CO zone. He's probably going to see his CO power this turn. 54. And there's the CO power. He can pull back and deploy it. Or push it forward and also splash the entire region with a weak silo. Huh. It landed right here, right? No, it landed right there. Nope, 8 units. Never mind. I'm overthinking about it too much. I'm wondering, why did it not hit that artillery piece? Because it landed hits right there. Rhino's losing a lot. Lost the rocket. Guess Brenner got caught off way position. He still has medium tanks in the back line. He still has a CO unit available. You could I think it'd be a good idea from fall back with CO unit and pop it to get health regen on all these units. Can get some damage on his own units first. Great damage there. He does not pop his superpower. Good strike there. Of course, he's fighting against +15 global. Does land up here as well. Now we've got a full fighter. I disagree with that. I think another Duster would be more than adequate. A full fighter is expensive. And Dusters would just generally be useful against battlecopters and infantry. I think that's just useful enough. Of course, now we've got a CO loaded a battlecopter here. Takes out a medium tank. Lots of losses here. May take out the Command Recon. Command Recon has gone down. Cyrus has 34 energy at the moment. I think Cyrus is starting to steamroll now. Brenner still has 140,000 versus Cyrus's 153 plus the day, so he's at 173. So he's down quite significantly. And looks like Brenner does go ahead and decides to surrender. This Angerade saying, "Thank you for watching," and on to the next replay. Let's see now. Time for another possible replay. I need to take time. I haven't really sat down and looked through the replays recently, but at least I have a decent listening to draw from. I think I did this one. Actually, no, it's Calder, so I have not. I haven't done many Calder replays. Greetings everyone, and great here with another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn bottom left side as the red Calder, we got Lord of Coal. Spawn top right side as the purple Penny, we got Lionel Parks. Calder, he has been greatly nerfed from the cartridge counterpart. He has a boarding cost of 50% normal, CO2 radius of just only 2, no expansion, no energy, and now his CO zone provides plus 25%, and 2 health regen. Though there probably should be a minus sign on the Calder, but is it really a nerf if it went from banned to unbanned? Either way, versus Penny, who's slightly buff on the cartridge counterparts, 53, 30, 60, 60, pretty much default there. Additionally, we got all units are unaffected by weather, plus 15% in the CO zone, and then provide 3 turns of random weather. This map is a triple base map with an airport and up to 3 ports you can have captured all the time, so you can really spam out those battleships. If you ever somehow get enough money for that, something went very wrong or very right if you get 3 battleships in one turn. Just in the showing capturing phase, there's nothing much for me to talk about. There is column towers in the center of the map. And there's also a handful of outlying properties. You probably should use a T-copter to go and pick it up. One thing as well, you probably have noticed that neither player has deployed out bikes. One, triple base consumes a lot of income, but there's also force at the end of each pathway as well, so bikes have a hard time getting on out. There's actually a decent number of forests in this map. No wastelands though. And he has deployed out a bike. We'll take like a Z there. Just took 1 turn just to go 3 tiles. And does go for recon there, so she's going for a large number of wheeled assets who have a hard time breaking out, then they can easily project forward. Calder has right now 9,000 funds. We could potentially see some sort of tech up, like a tank. But a tank would be a base skip. Recon, infantry. T-copter. tank, infantry, recon. So we do have a bit of a variation now going on. That bike has still just not gotten out of the spawn. This turn he'll be fine to get out of the spawn area. Recon charges way forward. Tank, infantry, infantry. Recon charges the way forward, and now there's Calder Command Tank. This Calder Command Tank, when top of road, has plus 45, plus 45. Drops with the infantry unit off at the seaport. Calder will probably need to eye his own T-copter to get up here as well. Double tank, or tank and ATR I should say. Command tank pushes way forward, catches on various properties. This could be interrupted, but will be interrupting her own cap. And no, this infantry unit can also support out the bike. Calder right now has 19,000 versus 16,000. So has go through the capturing phase. It's going to be 19 versus 19. This recon's probably out of range. Infantry, battlecopter, recon, infantry. So this one's going to be used to get in over there. Good strike there with command tank. Calder's units are pretty well buffed up being near this command tank. Good strike there onto the recon. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, infantry. Command tank now floating in field. Good strike down there. Just infantry most of both sides. Got this tank somewhat close by. Calder's command tank is in range of the Penny command tank, but simply out of vision range. Good strike there. Takes out that one unit. Takes out the unit there. Does not finish the capture. Takes out that unit there. Penny's recons on top of that city. Battlecopter push up north, no ATR, nothing nearby to stop that battlecopter. Good strike there on the infantry. Battlecopter does get a good strike there. The extra defense really come in handy. Does spot that capping infantry. Calder does have this battlecopter, but it's out of range of his opponent's battlecopter. Lander, tank, infantry, infantry. So he actually goes for a full lander. Landers are expensive, but helps push units forward and towards this port there, so it's not a bad choice. There's a good strike for the command tank. Doesn't have to worry about storing on CO charge with Calder's CO power. Just gotta make sure to deny Penny. Penny's superpower you really don't want to go on. It's effectively a 3-turn superpower. Though if Calder goes from his Flares, he'll counteract the rain, and Flares it's already a Fog War game, so Flares wouldn't be half bad to begin with. Sandstorm will cause Calder some issues, but could be mitigated with his own CO zone. If you're curious what the each of the weather provides, here it is. So I think snow and sandstorm is what Penny would like the most. Great shot there. Penny's up to 33, 38 energy. Strike on Calder's command tank. He has a battle copter nearby as well, so the Penny command tank will likely go down. Penny took some good engagements there. She's starting to pull a slight advantage, but only slight at the moment. Battlecopter and medium tank now pulled in the field. Great strike there. Takes out that tank. Decides not to take out the Penny command tank. I think that's a bit of a mistake. I think you really should take out Penny's command tank. Getting almost at a CO power. At 54 energy, you really should have focused this thing down. That was probably a bit of a mistake there. It's better not to attempt to brave the storm that is going to come. How easy to get 6 more energy? There's a battlecopter in range of a pair of anti-airs. Yeah, she will get her superpower next turn. And I think Penny should immediately pop it. 122 versus 96, so Calder's put a slight advantage at the moment. And does pop Rain, which is maybe the worst of 3, but Calder does not have any flares, so everything Calder has is completely blind at the moment. As long as Penny's just not diagonal to a unit, she is not going to be spotted. There's only a couple units diagonal to another unit. But yeah, this is Calder's vision at the moment. Only sees this infantry and this AT-AIR on the entire map. That's quite bad, and he has no flare for spotting. He's going to have to do a lot of mobile passes. Even though I said rain's probably the worst option for Penny at the moment, out of all the Penny random weather Penny could get. Since Calder does not have flares, it's particularly useful, and not to mention, it'll last for 3 more turns, and I definitely did underestimate the rain. I always underestimate the rain. I value the rain effect more in non-Fog of War games, because it goes from full vision to absolutely no vision. Penny's going to do just fine. Nothing's changed for her. She's already at 23 energy, so there's already 1/3 away to more weather to be summoned. Looks like Calder's just going to be braving the storm. He has 2 tanks and another AT-AIR that was spawned out last turn versus AT-AIR battlecopter tank and infantry. And he's now at +1 CO zone radius. Penny is losing a decent number of recons. Calder's making great work with the recon passes. There's a possibly another CO power next turn. There's a lot of stuff in her CO zone radius. This medium tank will be very useful, but Calder has a pretty decent death ball going, and Calder's super CO zone is just basically a death ball mechanic. Does merge with the command tank, so no superpower this turn. But she will get her CO charged up. Good strike there on the Calder's command tank. Loss of fluidness, so it's going to be draining a lot of funds there of Calder, but it also means continued momentum. And he will end the turn of 107,000. No, it says 25,000 bank. She'll end the turn of 131 versus 121 starting. Not much progress made. The range should end next turn. And either way, Penny should probably pop her superpower next turn. And now we got Sandstorm, reducing Calder's firepower by 30% across the board. And he's making some good progress here. Helicopter's almost out of fuel at 35 fuel. I don't think he can make across the map, but maybe just try to drop it down the port. Recon, bike, and tank. That's a good strike there, as well as there. Medium tank is Veggie 2, now it does get spotted. Penny's command tank can support this out. Don't think she can strike the Calder command tank. But yeah, this anti-air here, minus 25% firepower. Medium tank recon anti-air. Pulls back the anti-air. Command tank gets a good strike. Calder's command tank took a pretty good hit there. Takes out that tank there. And Calder's command tank goes down, neutering everything in this region. Penny now has 30 energy. She's already halfway to her next superpower. Clean up the northern flank there as well. And here, tank infantry. So I'm pull back there. Calder does have a decent amount of tanks here. Could probably put something on the airport. Or not airport, HQ to get CO'd. Helicopter heading up north. Does go for another battle copter. And he's starting to get some good power charge there. Starting to capture there. 44 energy. T-copter's down to 20 fuel. Up to 51 energy. Starting to flip some properties. Right now, Calder is slightly ahead in income. Battlecopter, recon, bike, and tank. Auto does load up seal into the battlecopter. Tank infantry recon. Another battlecopter. And the sandstorm has subsided. She will be able to squeeze out no more weather this turn. Highly likely. All I should hold off. Try to get the squeeze of the weather to get another superpower going. As he at least get plus 15% global. And does pop up. Now we got winter, which reduce all movement speed by 1, which is particularly harmful to infantry, I would say. But it also does make it so you can edge out your opponents well, just you're able to outrange your opponent for 3 turns. We now got a slight income advantage now for Penny. Has 191 in the field versus 130. Now, Red's currently Calder's name, Lord of Cold, should be particularly well suited for this weather, right? Or is it like Russia and Finland, where they just freeze to death? Battlecopters go on down there. Holds back some tanks to the CO zone. Good strike there. Gets a good strike there. Anti-air heading down south, gets a good strike on the infantry, takes out that tank there. This tank does go down. Good strike there. Battlecopter does take the command copter. I think Penny started to run away with the game. I think not sniping that initial command tank is what really lost Calder the game, because letting that rain happen really blinded Calder. Command COs the copter. Good strike there on that tank. And here does take a strike there. It is making some good gains now this turn. Gets a good strike there. And he's only at 22 energy. And Calder's actually making very good gains. This max out vet tank will be up to 8 health next turn. We'll end the turn with 140,000 field. Penny will start the turn with 143. Lander's almost out of fuel, but it's now on top of a port to get healed on up, or resupplied. Penny just fall back a little bit there. Recon's trapped. Infantry, tank, and anti-air. And this winter should be subsided starting next turn, right? So he will outlast the storm. And he's doing a good job getting back in the game. He was severely wounded. He's making a pretty good comeback. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. Now it's Penny's turn. Recon, push way forward, get some good spotting. Anti up here almost ran out of fuel. 23 fuel. Good strike there. Yeah, a lot of good hits here. Pretty good attack. But then maybe a decent counter attack in return. This medium tank. And only a battlecopter for a real serious set of threats. We got a large amount of anti-airs. We are lacking a lot of regular tanks. A couple of regular tanks down south, so Penny should be doing quite fine, I would say. Calder's lacking regular tanks. That's why I think he's missing that, which is actually quite important. Let's take out some of these outlying units there. Wounds the medium tank. Takes out that battlecopter. Gains great progress there. Good strike on that medium tank. Strike on the command tank. Takes out Penny's command tank. This is a big problem for Penny. She's losing quite a bit here due to an excellent counterattack there. Just managed to get enough rope to push forward, and now all of these units are going to get a nice bit of healing next turn. I thought Calder was losing the game, but he is turning it around big time. He is now more value in the field, as well as men as well. Penny does have a decent amount of money locked in a lander. The lander does cost 10,000. There's a lot of targets for Penny to take on. No CO zone, so we'll be not getting any CO power anytime soon. Get some good strikes there. Great strike from the medium tank, but it will be repaired. Anti-air reaches the command copter, does not take it out. Does not take out the medium tank, but will drain a lot of funds from Calder. She has 30,000 in bank, so she can go for something expensive. Maybe a bomber will be good. And CO the bomber. Calder's attack has been largely blunted. Now I'm thinking that Penny's going to win the fight. Backline reinforces push away forward. The command copter is going to be knocked out. He could merge onto the regular copter. Gets some great strikes there. Takes out the wounded artillery piece. Getting a lot of good hits here. Battlecopter gets receive a good strike there. Penny still has a decent amount of reinforcements here, but Calder's able to just push his units so much further thanks to that aura. The +2 health regen, plus the really high generalist stats, make a very, very powerful death ball, and one that can self-propel with the healing. But the Calder battlecopters will go down next turn. CO's her own battlecopter gets a good strike there. Calder's command copter goes down. A lot of stuff going down. And I think Penny has cracked the death ball. I already have 44 energy. Went from 0 to 44 in one turn. Yep, and now that was a clean sweep. Calder's down to 125,000. Penny is 139 plus of 24,000 in her bank. Minus 10,000 because of lander, but the lander, I have been discounting the lander for the funds, but it is very, very good. It pushes your units 2 turns forward approximately. And Calder has resigned. This was a pretty good fight there. This Angry saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. My voice is starting to go out, so I'm going to call it a night for tonight. This Angry saying, thank you for watching.